year is 1996. If you're going to make a movie about someone talking in front of the camera, he'd better have something interesting to say. Thankfully, Spalding Gray was the master of this. Having made 3 other monologue films, Spalding chose Steven Soderbergh to direct his 4th entry, Gray's Anatomy. But instead of recording it in front of a live audience, Steven chose to be a bit more creative. Cliff Martinez and Elliot Davis returned to score and photograph respectively. This time the film is edited by Susan Littenberg, who would go on to edit And Everything Is Going Fine, which I will not be covering. The film begins and ends with 1 or maybe 2 documentaries about how to take care of your eyes.
We're looking into a classroom. You know it's a classroom because your eyes tell you. Think for a moment how many things you know just because your eyes tell you.
As you can see, the film continues Soderbergh's trademark in shooting in front of a television. However, the purpose here is that it gives the film a deliberately poor image quality, which fits in with the theme of Spalding's eye condition. What then follows is a series of interviews that were included because the original monologue didn't go long enough. Each person discusses a bad experience involving their eyes, and what they say can be pretty extreme.
I went to the bathroom, I looked in the mirror, and I opened my eye up like this, and sure enough, a bullseye, a piece of wire sticking straight in the eye. And I tried to grab it with my finger, and it was too short, so I went outside and got my pliers.
And while we were standing there, I was baiting my hook, and somebody in front of me must have flipped back their pole. And I can still see this image of their arms about to move forward and a tug on my eyelid. And the hook had come right through my eyelid and was pulling my eyelid out.
Okay, that's enough. These interviews were done with a special infrared camera, which gives the image a very stark contrast. As for the monologue itself, most scenes are done with creative lighting, with on-set props to display poor vision. The majority of the monologue is shot in long takes, some done pretty basic, while others are done more elaborate with Spalding sitting on a moving chair. One has a slow dolly zoom, which involves Spalding and his desk moving from one side of the room to another. Once again, Soderbergh uses colour to differentiate certain scenes by using tones like blue, red, green, and yellow. The only other people to appear in the monologue is when Spalding talks about his experience with a Filipino psychic surgeon.
There he is, Trini Boca, the Elvis Presley of psychic surgeons, standing in semi-trance under fluorescent light.
What then follows is a barrage of quick cuts, flashing lights, and the camera moving wildly to simulate how Spalding was feeling at the time.
And it begins. Trini rolls up his sleeves, comes out of trance, shows everyone he's got nothing in his hands, folks, puts his hands up, and the first Japanese woman trots up, flies out of the table. Trini takes his hands and drives them into his stomach. He finishes, goes over, crosses them, blesses them, goes over to the crucifix, genuflex, wipes some blood off his Palm Beach leisure shoe, lights a cigarette, and leaves.
And that's all I can really say about this film. Gray's Anatomy is the first of 2 films that Soderbergh needed to revitalize his creative process. But it won't be until his next film that would give him all that he needed.